Okay. Let's say that we just learned about the importance of believing. I believe in you. Do you believe in you?
Yes.
Do you believe in you?
Yes.
Do you believe in you?
Yes.
Wonderful. We're on the same page, right? Okay, let's move on then. We did two things. We agreed that cooperation is important, right? Financial well-being is good. We also agreed that balance is important, and we truly believe that we have to do this, right? What is the relationship then between abundance and financial well-being? There are people who do business in the world that what they'll end up doing is working out of greed. Lots of business people work out of greed. They're coming from a space that there's not enough for everybody. So what they'll end up doing, you go around taking away the piece of bread from somebody else's mouth. Have you experienced that? Have you experienced trying to compete with you? You're a small business trying to rise, and all you get is hit on the head, right? And what happens if they don't do that? They wait a bit until you grow up, little bit, then they buy you out. Have you seen that happen too? So what is the spirit behind that? It's greed. It's the spirit of greed, and greed is the opposite of cooperation. So if you play with me the game, we're going to be looking at what are the aspects that we need to look at if we are going to make a difference in the financial life of people. I would like to ask you, how many people here are in business? Let me ask you a few questions. Put your hand up if you're in any business, please. Wonderful. Put your hand up if you are in a small or medium-sized business. Great. How many of you is not in business but would love to be in business? You'd love to start your business. Put your hand up, please. How many of you are scared to dream to have business? Have the courage to say that. Great. How many of you would support their family and their friends if they would start their business? Would you put your hand up? Okay, so what we have a room with people who are either in business, would love to be in business, are scared to start business although they want to, and we have a group of people who would love to help their friends and families if they do that. So we are doing that very well in terms of finding out where do we go from here. If we look at women, I believe that women are leaders. I believe they are the champions. I believe they are the warriors. And I truly believe they are the supreme warriors who are going to take the business into the next level. How many of you would you agree that? Put your hand up if you truly agree that women can make a difference in business. Okay. That's great because we have brothers here who actually are putting their hands up. How many of you truly believe women have no place in business? Okay. How many would not put their hand up anyway? Nobody? Okay. Let's look at what is the role then of women in business. If we look back in history, Egyptian women ruled the country with its wealth and business. Women entrepreneurs from dawn of time did that. So if they can do that, do you believe you can? If that could be done way back, then you can do it now. Would you agree? Give yourself a hand. Okay. Sometimes we say to ourselves, what we need to do is be content with what we have. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nice to be content with what we have. But if you truly want to have something to offer to the world, I'm not there in that slide yet, I just pushed it, so just listen to me for a second. If you are going to help the world, if you're going to help humanity, are you limited by resources or not? Are you? If you have little, and you say, I'm content to have that much, it's wonderful. But that much is going to be the ceiling beyond which you cannot help anybody. So wealth building comes through business because it has no ceiling, and that's extremely helpful to do that. If we go that route and say we need to raise wealth in order to contribute to the society, and I'm talking to women, but I'm also talking to men who would agree to support women, then we need to look at the threats and what are the pillars if we're going to go for financial wellness. The biggest threats to financial wellness today is competition. Why? Competition is basically the financial virus for the soul. The soul of corporations, the soul of business, the soul of human beings. What is the wellness pillar that allows us to counteract that? Cooperation and collaboration. We've heard enough about collaboration and collaboration. Are you convinced already about that? Yes? Okay. The second threat that we have to financial wellness for the world is greed, where competition, virus breeds. Greed is where the virus breeds. And the only thing we can actually combat that is through gratitude, abundance and prosperity. And this is an attitude of gratitude we can all have. The third threat that we have for the financial well-being is ignorance. And I cannot really emphasize that more than, it's just amazing. Ignorance is a killer. 93% of businesses die in the first 3 years. Why? People don't know how to run business. We all went to school, but even when they give people master's degrees in business administration, they don't teach them how to develop their own business. What they do, they teach them how to become good managers for someone else's corporation. So unfortunately, people put all the money they earn, they're good professionals, they have very good heart, all the money they have to put into the business, and what they end up doing is crashing in 3 years' time. We have only one solution for that, and that's education. And education is not going to come from master's degrees. It's not coming from schools right now. Education has to come from places where you learn entrepreneurship, because that is what is actually needed right now. The last thing that is a threat to financial well-being is apathy. Just being lazy, doing nothing, not caring about what happens to the world, and taking the role of being victimized. How many of you here know what feeling like a victim feels like? Nobody? You don't feel like you've been victimized? How many women here feel they've been victimized? That the world was not fair to them? Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. Now, can we live our life feeling like victims? Can we do that? Men in the room, can you always live the rest of your life feeling like the world has not been fair to you? Can you